You know, I blame myself. Maybe it is my fault. I'm one of those guys who likes to think that people are in control of their own lives. They make their own decisions and, like to hold responsibility for their actions. I'm one of those people who believes that you make your own way in life. You choose what to do. You choose to act, whether not to act, whether to walk away. If you find something on the ground, you choose to pick it up, leave it there, give it to somebody else to deal with. I'm one of those people who believes that aside from some minor, and this is, in the minority, of situations where you don't have control over your life, shit happens. That's all you can really say. Just move on with your life past that. Just accept the fact that life isn't guaranteed and shit happens. I'm one of those guys who doesn't like to blame other people for my own misfortunes. I'm the kind of guy who sits there and thinks to himself, did I deserve that? Kind of like walking into a bad neighborhood and getting beaten up. Well, I walked into a bad neighborhood. A bad neighborhood I knew was a bad neighborhood. I shouldn't have done that. What did I expect to have happen? Or getting drunk, walking outside, and getting hit by a car in my intoxicated state where I had bad judgment. Yeah, I blame myself for that too. It's not the other guy's fault that I staggered out into the middle of the street drunk out of my mind. So in both those situations, I would accept full responsibility for putting myself in the situation and making the decisions, personally, of being stupid like that. Of allowing myself to be put in a situation and circumstance where I could potentially get hurt. I'm one of those guys who looks for what I did wrong. I'm one of those guys who thinks, well, how could I have approached that situation better? How could I have not allowed that to happen? The only time I'll ever blame anybody else for my misfortunes is if they are the direct cause. And I mean, it has to be planned out, premeditated. Otherwise, I do hold some of the most of the responsibility. Unless they hold all, I hold some. And I try to think, how can I better myself so that that doesn't happen? And why do I accept most of the responsibility? Because I can't control other people. I can't tell them what decisions to make. I can't force them to control themselves how I think they should control themselves. I don't think that I have the right to do that. So, me being the individual I am, I dictate my own course of action. This spawned a debate with a friend of mine about choice, and how sometimes there's never a choice. No, there's always a choice. Whether it's as simple as act or don't act, speak or don't speak, there is always a choice. Maybe it doesn't have a favorable outcome. You speak, the girl dies. You don't speak, the girl doesn't die. Just getting down to the bare bones of it. Simple analogy. However, you'd still have the choice. You always have a choice. I hate it when people say they didn't have a choice. It is the most defeatist, ridiculous, self-pitying thing I have ever heard. There's always a choice. I don't care what kind of state of mind you're in. I don't care what age you are. Your choices are your choices. Your decisions are your decisions. And you must accept the consequences of those decisions. I'm the kind of guy who believes, yes, you must accept those. And you should think about everything that's going to happen. The consequences of your choices must be thought through, and all the scenarios must be played out. That's how I see life. When I think about doing something stupid, I think, well, I'm not going to blame anyone but myself for this. Is it really worth it? What could I do instead? I guess I'm taking too much of an individualist standpoint on this, but I hold people accountable for their actions. And if I'm more to blame than them, then I take all of the blame. I don't hold them accountable. I hope they'll do it themselves, and most of them do. But it's primarily my fault because I put myself in that situation. That's how I see life. It was my choice, my decision. Just as it's anyone else's choice and anyone else's decision. Why am I saying this? Why am I bringing this up? Well, this is the standard I hold everybody else to. This is the reason you'll see me on here yelling and, going off on other people who allow the government to do what it does. And I know I'm going to be called a hypocrite. I'm going to get called a hypocrite for also standing by while our government does what our government does. However, my ultimate goal isn't to save the country. My ultimate goal is to inform everyone else what's coming. Yeah, there is a bit of sheep shaming in there and, all that great stuff, but honestly, it's my decision, it's my choice not to act to help try to take down the Federal Reserve. It's my choice not to act to send too many letters to congressmen and senators. I think I even sent one to Obama. It's my choice to just inform people about it. It's my choice to not really do anything past that. It's my choice to sit and wait for the collapse to come. And I accept full responsibility for those decisions and inactions.